So here's something different. Johnny Test. Johnny Test has recently been announced to return with brand new episodes. In what medium or format, we're not really sure. Although it's looking to be webisodes, which I think is a bold move for the series. And I know what a lot of people are thinking. Johnny Test? More obnoxious jokes that got old 2 seasons in? More constant whip crack, whip crack, whip crack. And to that I say, have a little faith. I know the show has burned us a little bit before, maybe for a lot of seasons over the course of a lot of years, but allow me to pitch an idea to you guys. What if I told you I know exactly how to fix Johnny Test? How they should reboot this series? Well, I'm going to do that today. I'm your host, Ostrich Fox, and you're watching Tuned In. Alright, so while I was writing the script for this video, I actually learned that my friend Nintendo is working on his own Johnny Test reboot video. So if that is up, or when it goes up, I'll throw a link in the description. We Gucci? We Gucci. Alright, Johnny Test, we've seen it, we've seen all the Johnny X episodes, we've seen all the Bling Bling Boy memes, we've seen all the racing episodes that repeat themselves over and over. So after all this time, why is it coming back? Is it going to provide anything new? And if so, how can we make Johnny Test interesting, warranting the show to stick around beyond nostalgia factor? Well, hear me out. Johnny Test should have story arcs. That's right, you heard me. The show should become completely serialized. And your first response to this may be, oh good lord, why? Well, the previous format of Johnny Test, just having all these one-off episodes that tend to repeat themselves, may not be as popular with its demographic today. Actually, the most popular cartoons at the moment, with a notable online presence, tends to be serialized cartoons with an overarching story. And while you may think, alright, but this is Johnny Test. Some things are meant for an overarching story, Johnny Test is not. Are we really gonna write off reboots that have told a successful overarching story? Like Scooby-Doo, Mr. Incorporated, the brand new DuckTales, or Voltron, or She-Ra. Granted, the original series for the latter two did have sprinkles of serialization, but they don't even touch the level of continuity that the Netflix revivals do. With these examples, you may laugh at the idea of an ongoing Johnny Test series, and that's why I'm here to change your mind. First things first, I think an overarching story could breathe some life into the series. It would be something new for it, and I actually believe they have a lot to work with. Johnny Test's original 6 or so seasons actually had very good continuity with its recurring characters and villains. Actually, Johnny Test had a very large cast with a very good rogue gallery. The kind of rogue gallery that could be great for an overarching story. Bling Bling Boy, Dark Vegan, Brain Freezer, Mr. Mittens, Bumper Randalls, Wacko, Zigzar the Mole King, the Beekeeper. I'm just scratching the surface, buddy. Actually, in the past, some of these villains came together to form a group called the Johnny Stopping Evil Force 5. It was the accumulation of multiple episodes, coming together for an arguably satisfying payoff. I mentioned this to say that Johnny Test has arguably told loose story arcs before with continuity such as this. I think another good example would be the Johnny X episodes, which took advantage of the continuity in Johnny Test. And while I can't say the storyline in the Johnny X episodes were serious, they definitely were a bit more action-packed, which makes sense considering Johnny X is a superhero alter ego. I believe the epitome of this is Johnny X New Beginning and Johnny X The Final Ending, which you can tell was supposed to be the series finale when it came around, yet the show just kinda kept going. These 2 episodes, or one big episode depending on how you look at it, was the culmination of every Johnny Test episode that came before it. It was clear the writers wanted to tell a larger-than-life story with a bulk of characters that the audience of the show has learned to love over the years. Even though the episode's kind of corny looking back on it, when I first saw that as a preteen, my mind was completely blown. I couldn't have been any older than 9 or 10. It makes me feel old and a bit more weirded out that the show is being revived. But you get what I'm saying. They have told somewhat overarching stories before, and they can do it again, making the entire season tell one big story. And I mean, the world of Johnny Test has a lot of possibilities. I definitely think it's ripe for some pretty rad stories to be told. Imagine story arcs that could explore interesting scenarios, like what if Bling Bling Boy did date Susan Test, maybe even for a certain amount of episodes, but it was consistent? What if a character had a permanent transformation as a result of Susan and Mary's experiments? One that went horribly wrong, and it had to be undone. What if a number of villains came together for a league, similar to the Johnny Stopping Force 5, but this time they served another villain? whose role in the story was the true final big bad. Also, long-term Johnny X powers, hello? Could you imagine an episode not focused on Johnny X, but Johnny still had access to those abilities? It's not even real and I'm already loving it. Now, I'm not saying I want a gritty, edgy Johnny Test. No, not at all. The tone of the show wouldn't have to change. It'd still be comedic. It would just have to construct its storytelling differently to go beyond 11-minute segments. Or it could have interconnected points within separate stories. I think a great example would be OKKO Let's Be Heroes. That's a really fun show that tells an overarching story and has had story arcs in the past, yet it does not take itself too seriously. In fact, it's quite the opposite. But despite how silly it is and how hard it makes you laugh, you do get genuinely invested in the story it's trying to tell. After all, I've made many theories on OKKO. And I mean, are you guys telling me you wouldn't be down for Johnny Test theories? Because if so, oh, you're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart so bad. I would love to make Johnny Test theories. What is the true power level of Bling Bling Boy? I want to know, and we're going to find out. I think telling a cohesive narrative would actually work out in the long run. This approach to the series could build a bigger fan base, in a way that would take the show a bit more seriously, as mysteries and lore tend to draw a larger crowd. I've been to Comic-Con panels for shows like Steven Universe, and they're absolutely huge. People camp out hours for this, and a part of the reason is because of the characters, but it's also because of the reputation the show has built, as a lot of people go and say, hey, that's a show of story arcs, huh? What's going on in that show? It's pretty anime. Do you not want people to call Johnny Test pretty anime? Do you not want to stand in line 4 hours for a Johnny Test panel, hoping you get a clip from a lore episode? Alright, yeah, that may be a little bit ridiculous. Yet the point still stands. Johnny Test and overarching stories go hand in hand. Will this be the case with the new reboot? Probably not. I would not bet any money on that. Would this hypothetical scenario still make for an interesting time? Of course. But this is where I turn the conversation over to you guys. What do you think? Should Johnny Test indulge in overarching stories? Why or why not? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids, and for my own thoughts you can find me at AustricVox. We're also on Instagram. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please sort of like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AustricVox out.